Hello everyone, nice to see you. Oh, look at my after work hair. Anyway, my usual videos are about crafts and wreath making and all those things. They're about all those things because I was a single mom of 4 kids and I always learned to always have a side hustle, meaning a legal side hustle, mind you. So recently, we'll just start. Last year, I was in the hospital multiple times. I had seizures. Before that all occurred, I'm a nurse. I had changed jobs, loved what I did, but I needed something different. The place I was going to, found out the health insurance wasn't there, vanished. So with that being said, I ended up finding out during that process that I had partial seizures. Ended up in the hospital. Meanwhile, my credit score was 803. Very good credit score. It took me a good 6 years to build this credit score. I worked very hard. I was very diligent, paying everything on time. Then when you have to go to the hospital and you realize, oh, my sick time isn't there, or I don't have, I thought $6,000 for an emergency fund was okay. It was enough to pay the bills or at least get me by until I get back on my feet. It wasn't. So I had at that time probably like 15 different credit accounts, not only credit cards, mortgage, car payment, different credit everywhere. I went credit crazy. I guess because I didn't have credit and I had such a good score, they were willing to give me, a lot of money. So I got in this pickle where I couldn't pay the bills. Note to everyone out there, let them call and harass you, even at the hospital. Because when you say, can you please just stop calling me? Like, that's enough already. Like, please stop. What happens is, even when you try to make payment arrangement with them, they don't want to work with you. And what happens is, then they get all these lawyers involved, and then they start going after your paycheck and your bank accounts, which right now, for me, is not fun. But there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm the queen of positivity. But I'm trying to teach people a lesson about credit. And here's my lesson. You don't need it. From someone who had an 803 credit score, you don't need credit. You need credit for your house, of course, but you don't need 15 credit cards at all. And you still always need a side hustle. You always do. You always should have a few dollars in case of an emergency. Cash money. I remember when we had storms out here in Jersey and the power went out, we had no Mac machines. People didn't know what to do. They had no money. And the gas station, all they could take is cash. So if you don't have $50, $30, $40, $100, you wasn't getting groceries, you wasn't getting no coffee, you wasn't getting anything. So cash rules. Cash is, and cash right now is king. Or in my case, queen. But I also want to tell you, of course, keep cash. But it needs to be very important. People need to understand that yes, you need some sort of credit. A credit card. One. Like if you have your mortgage, you need one credit card. I had everybody's credit card. Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, Walmart, Bob's, Tom's, Dick's, Harry's. I had them all. For what reason? None. We need to get back to the cash society where, of course, we can have a credit card to establish and maintain our credit. Understood, because credit is tied into all this craziness. But we need to get back to cash. And if you can't afford it or don't want to spend the cash, don't buy it. And it's Christmas time, so this is what I'm telling you. It's so important to have money for emergencies. Even when you think you have enough, you don't. When I had to pay out of pocket for a test, $600, $400, $300, that money just flies like so easily. And I was barely maintaining until I could get back on my feet. And even now, I'm just now trying to catch up. From last year, from a 3-month period, wrecked a whole 6 years worth of stuff. And what I can tell you is when these people knew that I was paying this bill all the time and they called me and I was sitting in the hospital bed, they reported me late to the credit agency 6 weeks later. 6 years, not 6 months, not 60 days, 6 weeks after I missed my first payment. And I said, listen, I'm in a hospital. I'm telling you, I need to work with you. This is what's going on. No, nope. Didn't want to hear that. But what I can say to you, Wells Fargo Dealer Services, which has my car, phenomenal when it came to working with me. Phenomenal. So was Capital One. I give them a shout out because they're the only people that were willing to work with me. Like, they were like above and beyond trying to help. Like, they were really humans behind the phone. They were really, really wonderful people. They were great. Everyone else, not so much. And to this day, you are still paying back. Now you're paying all these fees, and now you're paying this, and now you're paying that, and then you're gonna get like, well, we take 10% for this, and oh, and by the way, your bank charges you $125 if they take it out your bank account. So, for all those young people, even I tell my kids, like, student loans, they're great. Do you really need them? You can work and go to school. I mean, it's not unheard of. I did it. I have a student loan, but it's minimum. And not because I've been paying it for 45 years. It's because I tried to take out the bare minimum. No, I didn't want a laptop, so I didn't need the $15,000 they were willing to give me to get my RN. $1,800 is what I used the whole time I was in school, because I worked in between and I saved money and I tried to do what I had to do. Am I saying don't get a student loan in the beginning? Absolutely not. If you need it in the beginning, take one out, do what you have to do. But meanwhile, understand that different parts of that loan are collecting interest and other parts are not. You need to make it a point to pay the parts that are collecting interest ASAP, right now, just like anything else. The irony of it all is this. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold, sore throat, it's all stuffy. The irony of it all is this. When you have a bank account and you have like less than 1% a year, realize that your credit cards are charging you 22%. So on that $1,000, they're charging you 22 cents on every dollar. In other words, if that $1,000, they just gave 22% is $220 in a year on that $1,000. It's not worth it. You take out a credit card, you have a little balance, and you pay it every month. Absolutely. For emergencies, just in case you have something that happens. But my suggestion is absolutely, you need a side hustle. You need a side hustle to your side hustle. You need an eBay hustle, a wreath hustle, a craft hustle, a second job hustle. You need to make sure that your money, you have not only your in case of emergency money at home money, if you have a storm and the lights go out money, you also need bank money. And you need to keep your credit and all that stuff organized and together and clean, because at some point it can come and smack you straight in the tail. And running from your bills is never a solution to your problem, because even in the back of mind, you know they're here. Don't worry, they'll creep back up when you least expect it, and they hit you where it counts. So my suggestion is this. When you have an economy right now that's somewhat okay, it's not good. Don't let them lie to you. It's not, because everybody feels like me. You're in a credit crunch. Like, you have all these bills. One emergency takes you out, and it takes you 6 weeks, might take you 3 years to recover from. So my suggestion, always start saving your pennies, your nickels, your dimes, because 2008 is very easily repeated, very easily. And you will have your own personal financial crisis before we have a whole economic collapse. So remember, your personal financial crisis is yours, and there's no government gonna bail you out unless you do like bankruptcy. And for some of us, we don't want to do that. So there is no, when you have your own personal financial crisis, you're stuck. You have to deal with it. So now, me having last year my own personal financial crisis is now coming back to bite me in my behind. So always keep a little bit of your money, your side hustle money, extra money, cash. I don't care if you have to sell bracelets, make bracelets, wreaths, Christmas balls, decorations, whatever it is that you have a great skill at that you can share with someone else. Uber, whatever it is. gift rides out, whatever it is, you should have some form of extra money coming in. And you should save it. You should save your money. And it has to be money that you don't touch. Meaning, no, I'm not going to have this $100 in an envelope in my house. And what's going to happen is when ice cream comes or it's snowing outside and I get the munchies, I'm going to go get some pizza. No, that's not what that money's for. That money is for, like, when I just broke my glasses, that I'm able to be like, oh, I broke my glasses. All right, I have a medical fund just in an envelope. And I have put $10 a week or every 2 weeks or $5 from a resale. And I put that in there. Okay, well, I have $100. It took me a while to get it. Okay, I have $100. So, you know what? I have the money to get my glasses without issue. All right. And then you still, even if you put 5 envelopes in your house, like, okay, this is my strict emergency fund. All right. Like, I don't know, anything just pops up randomly. You want one for your car, meaning you blow a tire above and beyond your regular emergency fund you have in your bank. Meaning, like, in your car, like something happens with your car. You want to figure, oh, how much does a tire cost? Okay, a tire is $100, or you need an oil change and you didn't think about it, or whatever it is. Take a few dollars a paycheck and put it in that envelope. And that means you have one for your car, you have one for your medical expenses. Just a few dollars. You don't need, take $5. $5 adds up pretty fast when you don't touch it and realize it's there. So if you have like one for your medical expenses, and then have one for like your car, and then you should have something separate if you're like a homeowner, and be like, okay, I'm a homeowner, so man, that pipe broke, that's $400. You keep adding to it little by little. When nothing is breaking, if you add to it, when something does break, you have the money not only from your house fund, but if it exceeds your house fund, then you also have your emergency fund, because it means it's an emergency, it has to get fixed. But you can't use your credit cards as an emergency fund. And I cannot stress this enough. Your credit cards are not an emergency fund. Emergency, like you're on the road and you have to swipe because you need to get a tire fixed and you're in the middle of nowhere. That's an emergency that you're not going to have cash for, most likely. That you can use a credit card for, but you pay it back right away. But emergency fund, your mortgage, your bills, your payments, you need 6 months. 6 months of an emergency fund. And this is somebody who had emergency. Trust me, 6 months. You don't have to save it today. You don't have to save it tomorrow. It sounds like an astounding number when you count your mortgage and all that in. But it's easily accomplished when you have other stuff that you're doing. If you pick up an extra shift, pick up a piece of job, another extra this. Always, 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 I can't emphasize this, have money allocated in different locations for yourself to go. Not just at different banks, different places, different PayPal. Listen, because you should be able to be like, okay, I have an account for my straight emergency fund, my savings. You know, every time I get a little piece of extra job, I'm going to take this $20 or this $80, this $100, this $200, whatever it is, that day you work over, take that money and put it in the bank. It's not there. Take it and put it in your emergency fund. And whatever the change is, take that back and just drop it in your change jar. Or if it's $202.12, take the $2 and pick an envelope to put it in, and then take the 12 cents and throw it in your change jar. Because all these little pennies are going to add up. Because all these bills are going to add up. And I say this because of from personal experience. You do not want to be in the position where you're robbing Peter to pay Paul on a regular basis. It's not a good position to be in. Trust me. And healthcare is an outrageous, it's so outrageous right now when it comes to, as a nurse, healthcare for me and my family is ridiculous. Like your healthcare premiums, it could be anywhere between $900 to $1,000 for a month. Then your out-of-pocket deductible before they pay anything could be $10,000, $12,000. So in other words, you have to pay $1,000 a month and then meet your $12,000 yearly deductible before they really start paying anything. Who spends $24,000 in healthcare? And then you wonder why nurses are just like, I'll just treat myself for this because I'll put the Band-Aid, I'll be fine. Because even nurses have horrible healthcare, which is sad. We should have the best healthcare. We take care of everyone. We take care of everyone's grandmom, everybody. We take care of people for a living. That's what we do. We should be taken care of. So when we get sick, we should be able to go to the hospital or the doctor without it becoming a financial emergency. Anyway, off of my soapbox with that. But back to the statement at hand. We absolutely have to have some sort of emergency fund. You have to have multiple places to have an emergency fund. And if you have multiple people working in your house, it's you and your husband or whoever it is, like you can collaborate together. Okay, honey, you take $20 of your paycheck this week, next week it'll be my turn. And together, or you can do them together. But it's so important right now that everyone gets out of debt, number one. And two, you can save and get out of debt at the same time. And they're like, oh, I should get out of debt first. Okay, because I had that same theory and thought process. I didn't quite get out of debt before I had the emergency. Yes, I had a little bit of a nest egg, but I didn't get out of debt first. And I didn't save enough money. So it didn't work. So what I'm telling you to do is pay your little minimum balances, but you have got to have an emergency fund. Have to. Because like if you're out of work for me, like, or back and forth, or barely working back and forth for 3 months, and you're not eligible for this disability or that disability because you're not 100%, trust me, your mortgage is $1,600, $1,700, whatever it is, on top of your car payment, on top of all your credit cards, on top of feeding your kids. Trust and believe, when that paycheck is not there anymore, you will have to use that emergency fund. And you'll be thanking me that you have it. And you have to start month by month. And if you can't quite get the emergency fund and you're like, okay, then what you need to do is start by adding to your utilities every month. If you know your electric bill is $200 a month, you know, okay, I want 6 months of just a little breathing room. So if you add $20 every time additionally to your bill, or $30 every month, eventually, and you use less, of course, consume a little less, add a little more, you'll have a credit with your utilities to the point of where you'll have a couple months leeway if something happens. We have gas for heat here. Same idea applies. You'll have the same thing. You'll have a couple months leeway. I'm not saying you could take hundreds of dollars. I'm just saying like $10, $20, just add it as you can. If you work extra shift, don't let that money fool you. It's not yours. It's for you in the future. It's not yours now. You need to take that money and actually put it toward cushioning yourself. Meaning making sure that you don't have a personal financial crisis. And if you do, and if you do, you're straight, your family's straight. Just no government assistance programs that are going to help you get out of debt. There may be, but guess what? At the end of the day, they're going, it's on you, kid. So you need to make sure that you're financially together. And it doesn't mean that you're going to have an emergency today, tomorrow, next week, next month. But what I'm telling you is that it's very important for you to have some sort of emergency fund saved up. It's imperative. So I suggest everybody take a few dollars, and I know it's Christmas time and everybody wants to splurge. But I suggest if you get any little few dollars for Christmas, put it in a little envelope and save it. Thanks, Uncle Bob, for helping me out 6 months from now when my tire blows. Save it. It's important that you save a little money. So that's my view on credit and stuff when it comes to money. But honestly, I suggest you start putting your money in an emergency fund and trying to get those things handled and together. Because this economy is not good. I don't care what anybody tells you. It's not. And it doesn't take much for you to have your own personal financial crisis and collapse. before you learn about money the hard way, like I did. And even though you might have, I make good money, I'm not worried about that. Guess what? I did too. And guess what? I still ended up smacked in my behind with bills. So my suggestion to you guys is this: save up little by little. Keep your change, put it in a jar, and just keep collecting it. Find a water jug, whatever it is. And then every so often you cash it in, dump it into your emergency fund. You just have to save your money. And how do you save money? By not spending it. Let me repeat. You save money by not spending your money. Stop buying frivolous stuff. Stop buying junk on Amazon you don't need. Stop buying stuff you don't need. Go back and be like, do I really need this or do I want it? Do I need food or do I need a new Xbox game? Do I need a $400 pair of sneakers or do I want a $400 pair of sneakers? Do you need clothes for work or do you want new clothes for work? You have to think about that stuff. And I think if you just let it fester around in your brain a little bit and you'll think about it, like, you know what? I really don't need that. I want it. So I'll take a break on my wants for a minute and then I'll go back and revisit in a little while. If it's something that I want and need, all right, well, you know what? I need this item, but this item feels want too, so maybe I can get it and be satisfied both. But to be honest with you, 100%, 100, you gotta save your money. It's very important. And I suggest you doing it sooner than later. And another thing that I suggest to everyone, every time you go to the store, whatever your family eats, you have a pantry. You have a deep freezer, even if it's one of them little ones. You have a deep freezer, and anytime they have sales on the stuff that you and your family eat, whether it's them 99-cent drumsticks, chicken legs, whatever it is, you put food away for your family. You have a pantry. You should have that. They have can sales. Aldi's has cheap canned goods. Whatever it is that your family uses, you should have at least a couple months, little by little, worth of food that you eat. Like if you know I make spaghetti 4 nights a month, then you should have 3 months worth of spaghetti in your house with 3 months worth of sauce and 3 months of ground beef and 3 months, and that's how you do it meal by meal. I shop different, so that's how I do it, but I can tell you all those months, I only went to the store for like milk and bread and maybe eggs, occasionally cheese, because I even put that in the freezer. Also, women, when you find your certain feminine products on sale, it's advisable you should have a couple months of those too. Food, toilet paper always goes on sale. Toilet paper, paper towels, necessity, no. But guess what? There's times where you're gonna need a paper towel and you're gonna be like, I can't use these napkins. That too, definitely, that too. Toilet paper, you should have enough of that for a couple months. So when an emergency hits, you don't have to go to the store and spend what little bit you're holding on to on toilet paper, like toilet paper, feminine products, like necessary, but stuff that you could have previously purchased. Like you find a discount, your brand, it's got a coupon, hey, perfect, boom. It's on sale, it's normally $8, and you're like, oh man, they're like $6, and then if you buy 3, you get like $2 more off. Do yourself the favor, always ahead of time. Shampoo, conditioner, they don't expire, well, like 18 months after you open it or whatever the date is. But I'm just saying, seriously, you're gonna use the stuff anyway, you're gonna rotate it. It's absolutely important that you do that. Anyway, this is my little video. I will also be doing other videos on how to get your finances right. All the wonderful lawyer system that I've met, they're great people, they really are. And also on how to do some food storage, because I'm a big proponent of that, with and without basements. And actually I have a basement now, but on how to have a pantry, at least a minimum pantry, and then meal plan with the pantry, and on top of it, how to rotate your pantry. So I'm gonna do some videos on that. But so not only am I a wonderful wreather and crafter and mom, of course, I love my babies, even though they're getting so big. They're like men. I'm like the shortest one in the house. It's so bad. I'm like 5'7", and I'm like the shortest one, man. My kids are like monsters. So with that being said, I think I'm only shorter than, I'm almost the same height as the dog. Like, that's it. The dog and me are like, when he stands up, we're about the same height. Well, I think I got him by a couple inches, but that's beside the point. But you gotta remember, like, there's ways to stave off a crisis. And now that I learned, some of my ways worked and some of my ways didn't. So I just want to help people along on that journey when they do get in this situation. And then you're gonna come back with me on my credit journey, back to my 803 where I need to be. It's gonna be a tough journey because 6 weeks later, after my 803, my credit was like 6 something. Yeah, they hit me hard. So with that being said, lovely ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stay positive in life no matter what it hits you with. I'm a positive person, and always try to smile and laugh and be happy no matter what, regardless of your circumstances and your situations and how life might smack you in the tail end. I really want you to find joy in every day. There are people that have less than what we have. I have heat, home, and people that love me, and a job, and I have lovely coworkers that I love to death. There are people that have less than that. There are people that don't have the home, the heat, coworkers. They don't have anything. They don't even have family that love him or her. So I'm very blessed. Even if I didn't have material things, I'm still happy that the love that I have around me. My mom, my kids, my grandson, I'm Noni, and all those wonderful things. So we have to find joy in days where it's harder to find joy is when you really need to go try to seek it out. Whether you say good morning to everyone, even though you had a rough day, rough night, whatever it is, always trying to find joy and positivity in your life, because that's the most important thing, is to live life to the fullest, enjoy it. You only get one, and if you do it right, you won't need another. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my YouTube family, what's up? My coworker family, hi! They know how I'm kooky. And everybody else in the YouTube world, I just want to tell you, I love you guys. Thanks for helping me. Thanks for coming with me on my journeys. Thanks for playing with me when I play with my reefs and all my goodies, because you know that side hustle is the truth. You really need one. I'm just saying, you need to figure something that you do well and that you can do better than anybody else. So, and that you're creative at it. So with that being said, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Stay positive through the struggle. No matter what your mood is, somebody in this world loves you. And if you don't feel loved, like God loves you, I love you, everyone, just feel the love. And regardless of the time of year, the season, I just want to tell you, try to be positive. And with that being said, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful night, and we'll be on this journey together to get me back from, -0, my credit score now, that's why I call it negative nothing, back to where I belong. So we're just going to be on our journey, and it's great because I'm going to be positive with it, because then what's going to happen is I'm going to have proof that it was negative nothing and how I get back there. So if I can do it, I did it once, I'm an optimist, I will do it again. And then I'll take you guys with me, and we'll kick butt all the way through. Anyway, guys, I love you. Have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go make a wreath for one of my coworkers who's been begging me for this wreath, and I've just been working like a maniac. That being said, I'm going to make my friend her wreath, and I want you guys to show love no matter what it is. All right, you have a wonderful evening. Love you guys. Oh, by the way, this right here, mine to crash out. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually Color Street, and I didn't put a top coat on it, which is amazing because, and I'm not a nail girl, you already know. Bless them. These nubs. No. If I had them done, I'll get them done eventually. That's not a priority right now. Just saying, it's not a priority. But they put this Color Street stuff on my nail. It's pretty awesome. Like, I wash my hands excessively, and I didn't put a top coat. And the amazing thing is, I don't know if you can see, it's actually still on with a top coat. So if anybody has this kind of stuff, I would say I like this. This is pretty cool. Anyway, that's beside the point. Just in case you were wondering why I have 2 nails done, it's not because I've completely lost my mind. It's partially gone, but not 100% yet. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I hope everything works out well. I'm gonna go make my wreath. It's been a long day. So I love you guys. I hope you have a blessed evening. And if you have any questions, please ask me. I can tell you how I destroyed it all and how I'm gonna get it all back. Watch my work, kids. Always remember that the comeback is always bigger than better than the setback. Keep that in mind. All right, guys. Love you.